Now, let me ask you guys something. Before the game started, if you could take 1 point, 1 point that was guaranteed, would you have taken that offer? Would you have taken that offer knowing that Leicester City are above us in the league table? They're playing at home. They're a very good team performing at a very high level this season. Would you have taken that guaranteed point beforehand? Now, the reason why I say this is because I'm really a bit confused as to why there's such a strong negative response to today's result. We're not playing against a team that's 20th in the league. We're playing against Leicester City that are above us in the league table. And you know what? I'm going to use this match over you guys. Maybe vent out a few frustrations that I've been feeling at times with, I don't know, with how the fan base can be in regards to supporting the team. Because at times I do ask myself, why do people even support this club in the first place? You know, throughout the season, before the season even started, it's been non-stop, unnecessary negativity every single time. This player isn't good enough. This player's never going to make it to this level. The tactics are this, that, everything's poor, everything's bad. But at what point is reality going to kick in and set in for some of you guys? I really mean it. You know, if you look at our squad, is that a squad that's guaranteed to win a single damn thing? Is that a squad that's guaranteed to win the big trophies and cups in the world? Of course not. Of course not. You should all know by now, this is a rebuilding structure. We're going to have games like this. Now, before the season even started, people were writing us even getting a top 4 finish. That really surprised me because I thought there'd be a lot more belief of clearly that's not the case anymore. But already, the team have quickly disproven all that negativity straight away. But still no one gets any confidence from these guys. No one gives them any benefit of the doubt, no understanding. And it gets me thinking sometimes, why do people even support this club? Like, real talk. What do you get from it? What emotional gratification do you get from it? Because at this point, you guys, if we're not winning every single game, every single time, well, you can see the true nature of some of these fans coming out. And I mean it, because I feel like this is something that needs to be addressed. As fans, we live in a different generation of football today. With social media, players and fans connect like never before. Whatever we say is going to be put out there. Everyone sees it. Now, for some of you guys are going to be lazy and say, oh, you know, if you're a professional footballer, why are you on social media? You know, don't dehumanize them. We all use it the same damn way. We work, we have our off time. It shouldn't be different for any single one of us. If you think it should be, then ask yourselves why you're putting another human being on a different pedestal to yourself. Because that's the reality. I thought we went into this season knowing that every single game was going to be a battle and it was going to be a fight. And before the season started, I actually predicted last season that I thought this would really galvanize all the fans, bring the fans together, and really connect the fans with the team even more. But that's been far from reality. And it really disappoints me knowing that a lot of guys playing for us, the young ones, they've been the guys that have been getting all the goals and all the assists. Without them, we wouldn't be anywhere near the top right now. These guys are just starting to play their first time at this level. You know, playing in front of a home crowd, which you've been dreaming of for how long. You know, of course, there's going to be some growing pains naturally. And I'm just in utter disbelief at the lack of understanding and patience from people that time and time again in the long term get constantly disproven every single time. And I don't get it. Why keep taking L's? Why even be invested in football where you don't take nothing from it? You don't learn from anything. You don't reach any new understandings or perspectives. It's the same old rhetoric every single season, same old reactionary bullshit opinions. And I'm getting honestly sick and tired of it because I do this as a job, you guys. I constantly see it every single day. It really just grates on you and it just really annoys me so much, you guys. I was going to start swearing, but I can't be doing that. But I felt like I had to get this off my chest because, of course, I thought we started the season knowing that every game was going to be a battle. But it seems that only the players are up for that battle and not the fans. And it's quite disappointing. You know, I thought with our history as a fan base, we were a lot stronger than that. But I guess now modern day fans are completely different. But you guys, now I've got that out of the way. Now, of course, before I continue on with things, download the OneFootball app. You'll find a link below in the description. Download the app right now to see all the latest stats and figures after our game against Leicester City. Vote for your man of the match, etc., etc. It's a great companion app, you guys. You'll find a link below in the description. Let's continue on with the match review. Now, to start with things, we look at the lineup, and it never surprised me that we used a 4-2-3-1. Now, when we played against Leicester at home earlier this season, we used a similar formation, and this was perfect in helping us create those runs in behind Leicester's defensive line. Now, at times today, we saw bits of this as well. Tammy Abraham carrying an ankle knock, which people didn't care about, and it just really surprises me because the manager came out to tell everyone that Tammy Abraham isn't fully fit because he has to play through the pain due to his ankle knock. Why? Ask yourself, why are you ignoring that information? I don't get it. The manager said it. But you guys, I just feel myself getting worked up even more. Let me continue on. With Tammy Abraham today, I thought it was a very valiant effort. I love his mentality. Of course, at times his body was kind of letting him down. He was slipping quite a lot, and it's kind of obvious because if he's not going to really properly stand on his ankle to fully support himself, then of course he's going to be off balance a bit, and that's why maybe some of his shots didn't connect as well. But I guess, maybe some people just don't care about stuff like that. But anyway, of course, continuing on, I just thought in the first half in particular, we really influenced our game on Leicester. We were getting our players out wide, keeping them very high up with their positions as well, really forcing Leicester back. And, the amount of incredible delivery that Reece James was putting in. My God, it's quite surprising to me that most teams haven't found a plan yet to stop Reece James from attacking down that side because he is one of our main creative outlets in the team. And just some of his combination play down the flanks, the quality he brings in the box. Oh, if only Tammy was fully fit for this game. Could he have done better in those scenarios? I feel like he would have, but maybe I'm a bit too positive in nature. Maybe that's the mistake I'm making. I'm too optimistic. But anyway, the only disappointing thing about the first half was that we couldn't get that goal because, the way we dominated, it was deserved. And from that point of view, you can see what Lampard is trying to build. We're going to be that team one day that really just overloads the opponents really early on in the first half, getting the goals to try and steal the game, similar to what Liverpool do, because once you do that, effectively you're in control of the entire game. And if you play things right and properly, then you're going to be fine and you're guaranteed the 3 points. As we get better players to supplement the great young players we have at this point in time, we're not going to reach that level overnight, you guys. It's going to be a plan. It's going to be a process. It's going to take time. And if certain people don't like that, then there's other clubs. Like, I'm dead serious right now because I'm really tired of how everyone's criticism just doesn't really fit in with reality. It feels like everyone feels like they got the perfect solution, but then you couldn't really possibly do that in real life because there's too many factors working against it. Of course, in the first half, as it was ending, Leicester was slowly starting to get back in the game, and maybe that's when some of the negativity came into place. But of course, second half comes and things start really well because Rudiger scores an unbelievable goal with his head. It feels like a long time since I've seen like that classic headed goal, and today Rudiger really put on a show today. How often has he scored with his heads? Being really decisive for us, and I can understand maybe why, his goal threat in these areas is what is needed because we need goals from any player, any area we can get them. We're desperate for them, and with heading ability like that, well, I guess his place in the team is going to be secure for the next few games. But from that point on, Leicester City were able to get back in the game themselves. Leicester City are very similar to us from a tactical point of view. And in that second half in particular, it was no surprise why both teams really cancelled each other out. The game became very congested in the middle. Both teams couldn't do anything out wide. And that was why guys like Reece and Hudson-Odoi were really quiet in the second half because the ball just wasn't being circulated in those areas. The minute that happened, the dynamics of the game became completely different. And it meant that players had to have different attributes to use. Resolve, fight, strength, mentality. And I saw that today, yeah. It wasn't the most beautiful game at times due to that scrappiness, but at this level, you guys, in a big game like this, of course, it's going to happen. As is typical with our season, some individual errors at the back. I thought Caballero was strong today. He was solid, had a little error in the moment, give an opportunity to Leicester City. It happens. I'm not going to be too angry because, come on, how many games has this guy played consistently this season? And obviously before that as well, the goal scored by Barnes, another lucky deflection of Christensen. So in that sense, maybe we could have prevented those areas. I thought at times maybe Callum Hudson-Odoi's lack of experience of coming back to help out the fullback was really showing at times, with Barnes in particular finding really good areas in the half spaces to really get in behind Callum to deceive him. And of course that forced Reece to have to leave his position and stretch him, creating holes and spaces in behind, Of course, you guys, I can't expect a 19-year-old in Callum to be fully on point with this game just like that. I mean, it's going to take years and years. By the time he's 23, 24, he'll be a completely different player. It's just part of the process. We have to accept it. And then when it's 2-1 and with the game looking very topsy-turvy, with the game being very rough and, very hard for there to be long stems of passages of play, you're thinking, okay, it's over, right? Well, no. Of course, for the first goal we scored with Rudiger, that was an unbelievable ball in by Mason Mount. And for the second goal, it was another unbelievable ball in by Mason Mount. Now, I really like that second goal in particular because there was a reason why Mason used that particular crossing technique, because he understood that with how windy it was down that side of the pitch. He attempted an earlier cross before with a different type of technique. It was a bit too floaty and it went really high up and over the back of the net. This time, low driven, accurate. I'm going to find my man. He found Rudiger with pinpoint accuracy. Rudiger with one of the best headers I've seen for a while, looping right over Schmeichel. Unbelievable goal. And I was like, yes. Yes, 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 because at times in games like this against a team that is basically on the same level as us, you're not going to win beautiful. It's going to be about who's stronger, who's tougher, who has that mental resolve. And today, I was seeing that in some of the players, especially in Mason Mount. Now, at times, people are going to just dismiss his entire game and, criticize him without understanding that maybe he doesn't get the ball in these areas as much because we aren't playing through the middle. So Mason Mount today showed that he had that mentality in that fight. How often in the second half was he constantly getting knocked to the floor, getting right back up and getting back in his man, getting tight, doing his bit defensively. You see all this stuff and it just gets dismissed. I don't understand it. Yeah, it's not right, you guys. I feel like this criminal lack of appreciation for a lot of the players we have is not good enough. And I think if I'm gonna say it real, because I like to keep things honest. I'm a very honest guy. Some of you guys need to really educate yourself with football, learn about the game more, try and open your perspective and broaden your horizons. I really mean it. Because some of the things I'm reading ain't adding up and ain't making sense. And from then on, it was looking quite clear that it was going to be 2-2. It wasn't really much we could do in that second half, as I explained before. But in the grand schemes of things, especially when we're playing against a lot of big teams in February, I think to get a point against Leicester City and to not lose this game means that we can take the confidence from this performance to the next game. So you guys, I really hope that we can have a turning point. If you want to see change in the club, it means that you want a top 4 finish. So just pretend to support the club for a tiny bit longer. Please, just do it for a tiny bit more. We get top 4, you'll get the players. All these guys you don't want will probably go, and hopefully then you guys can start to connect with the fans again. But anyway, on that point, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. Yeah, I'm negative, I'm cynical, but I don't care because I'm getting really frustrated by the lack of support. It's a bit depressing. I don't understand why it's constant negativity, and especially when it's just really shit a lot of times. I have to say it, a lot of the things people moan about is just absolute nothingness, absolute shit, or you clearly just don't even know what you're talking about. So you guys, I'm going to keep things moving. I'm going to release some more videos today, and I'll see you later.